right, you guys, we're fixing to give some cookies before we go to lunch, and I thought I would kind of show you who's in the barn. Let's see what we've got here. Let's see. We have Coy, who needs his blankie back on. You coming with some cookies? Oh, Mr. Coy, would you like a cookie, sir? Coy is gaining weight and doing so much better, you guys. Come on, Coy. Yep. You can have a cookie. Here you go. He said Oh, Coy just realized I had cookies. It took him a second. Oh, that was nice. We're giving some cookies. We have a couple more bags. If anybody wants to buy a 2-pack of cookies, Dara is going to the post office when we break for lunch. Come here, Nukes. Come here, Lena. Come here, Nukes. Oh, Lena said that's nice. So these gastric snacks have some CBD, but they have a lot of other things, which include, but are not limited to, flaxseed and, nice, sir. Would you like a cookie? This is Gilly. Of course Beaver wants a cookie. Helena is precious. Wants another one. Beaver, was that nice? All right, you guys, we have a star party. Let's send stars and get this star party and this star streak knocked out of the park. He can have 2. Sheldon, Beaver. Lena, Cactus. Jackie Roan. Hers do be loving the cookies. Wait till you guys see her without her blanket on here in a minute. Come here, Chase. Hello, Chase. Would you like a cookie, sir? Hello, Chase. Chase said he doesn't mind if he does. Ooh, fall down. Look at that butt, you guys. We just need to make sure we worm him really, really heavy. I assume that's why he rubbed his tail. I don't know. Did Everett get a cookie? I'm trying to get this thing a cookie. Adonis?
Yeah. Oh, that gray did get a cookie.
Yeah. He's actually yellow. Hims is actually yellow under there. All right, everybody. All right, send stars, you guys. We are at 1,000 stars, so we are not quite there. Tell them send stars.
Send stars, guys.
Send stars. Hey, let's not have another dog fight because I don't want to have to holler, kick him in the face. I felt like that, you know, where it's like, grab him right in the pussy. Kick him in the face. Kick him in the face. It's okay. Yep. All right, you guys. So on TikTok, I recently saw where a girl tied a horse to the front of the stall and let it spook, and then it fell down not once but twice on concrete. So something I want to talk about, and send stars if you agree, is one, we should never tie a horse. I don't care if it is a baby. Under no circumstances should a horse be tied to the front of a stall. That is just really, 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 really ignorant behavior, in my opinion. What's worse than that, if you notice, my shed rows are dirt. This shed row is dirt. The other shed row is dirt. And the other shed row has rubber mats. And the reason that we have that is so when we do tie a horse up, say we tie a horse to the tying pole, which we have an entire pole dedicated to tying, if they are to take off, they can't bust their ass. I think that the number one way to make a horse bad about tying, to have a horse scared of being tied, and to create issues being tied is to let them have a really horrible experience. Because horses, unfortunately, do not have the human thought process that we often like to give them. You'll see me put words in horses' mouth, and it's funny, and we all laugh. But at the end of the day, horses just know that they got tied up to something, and it was a bad experience. They fell down. They got hurt. It scared them. So now every time you tie them up, it's going to be a fear response. So while I like to make not spooky horses, and I like to be a spooky human, so I have quiet horses, that's not the way to do it. So please remember, you guys, if you're ever going to tie your horses up on concrete, make sure you don't hard tie them. You can buy the slip rings. We go to a lot of events that you don't have a choice but to tie on concrete. So I buy those rings that have the loop, and I can put my lead rope through it. If my horse were to set back and panic on concrete, it's never going to snatch them back. The lead rope's going to be able to run all the way through it. I would rather my horse get loose than get hurt. And you have to remember, at the end of the day, it is my responsibility. It is your responsibility to be smarter than the horses that we lock in stalls. It is our responsibility to be smarter than to put them in danger. So if you're a dumbass and you tie your horse on concrete and you video it, and then you want to fight back that, well, you're a kill buyer and y'all send horses to slaughter, so why would you care? Nope, that's not how it works. Just because I think that there's a place for slaughter doesn't mean that I think there's a place for actual horsemen to be ignorant. Under no, oh, hurry, you guys, 1 minute, and we are almost there. Send stars, send stars. Let's get her out and tie her up and show them how good she looks. You can bring her out here, Elizabeth. Oh, will you pull that?
Let me see.
What is it?
Put your back into it.
Yep.
Go ahead, girl.
Right there. That's all it's going to go. We need to move that. This needs to be moved. Yep. There we go. Just as long as Sheldon can't. So all I'm saying is, did we get the star party? Did we made it? All right, achieved. I can't see it. But here's Jackie Roan, you guys. As you can see, I mean, and I'm not telling you we're perfect. Like, there's the water hose. But when we tie the horses up, we do a couple things. One, we run our lead rope through here so she does have some give. And this is a knot, so if she were to sit back and get in a bind, we could pull this and pull this knot loose. And as we pulled this knot loose, she would be free. So just see what I'm saying? Like, if she were to freak out and we had an accident, we can pull this. Well, if I had two hands, I could have. I can with one. And now she's free. So we don't even hard tie in here just because we don't want to have a big, a big issue. I mean, that's the first thing that I showed them how to do. So as you guys remember, Jackie Roan was super poor. Her feet were really growed out. Tyler's been trimming. She's got her feet in much better position. Yep. So Jackie Roan, she's all right. But I mean, as far as being on the water hose, like I said, we're not perfect. I'm not telling you guys that we have to do things perfectly. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, you're if you have poop in your barn or a water hose. What I am saying is horses spook. Horses spook. So what we don't want to do is have her hard tied. And here's another thing. She's a really good example because she's young. And when we got her, she had a little bit of fear of being tied. So she's a little jumpier. So as you can see, when we bring her up here, we want her to learn to be tied without fear. But we don't have her hard tied. Elizabeth, will you come put a slip knot back in here? And again, we just put a slip knot in the lead rope so that if she were to have an accident, she can't get loose, but we can pull this and get her free really fast if she gets in a bind. Also, she's tied on ground that she can get some traction. So if anything happens, she can get out of the way. But that booty be looking a lot better. That booty do be looking a lot better. I mean, we're starting to get, nice mama, nice. She went from being on death's door to at least now she's so sweet. She really looks amazing. And now her pasterns are really looking a lot better now that she's getting trimmed and getting some hill under her. Somebody had asked me before if I thought she was always going to kind of be long pastured. And I mean, a little bit of that's her confirmation, but she rides really smooth. And the truth is, the more we trim her, the better it all looks. So she's doing fantastic. And yeah, I mean, but again, I mean, this is a horse that did have a lot of fear being tied up. She's a horse that didn't love it. Calm down.
She's looking at me like, why'd you let her do that, Mom?
I know. She looked at me when I got out of my car, literally growled at me and like ran sideways like, you don't live here.
This is, Eddie, I know we live here, but this is late days, so you have to be nice to her.
And this is a little mare that was super fearful of being tied up. She's very bomb-proof under saddle, but something has happened in her past that made her fearful of being tied up. We're not sure what. It was like that when she came here. She's like, fuck it, I'm leaving. Her blue heeler does not like people. She's trying to like you. Even sometimes she looks at Lane like, so we're just going to condition her mane so when we put her hood back on, got conditioner in it. That mane is growing out and looking good, girl. So I will tell you that if you blanket your horses, if you will buy a good conditioner, those blankets constantly rub. So I do put a really good conditioner in the top of my horse's tail, and I put a good conditioner in their mane, just so that as they have those blankets on, you know, it's rubbing, it's not drying that hair out. It's actually just rubbing that conditioner in. I like that. Elizabeth, will you do me a favor and come brush your tail out? I just have one hand, so I'm just, that way you can start at the bottom and work your way up and not pull at it. But yeah, this little mare doopy, I would have busted my ass. We all could have laughed so hard. I tripped over those. Those, we bought salt blocks to go outside, so here are salt block keepers. Yep. We'll put her blankie back on her. Look at Beaver. He's like, my turn next. And we're like, Beaver, you're a mountain pony. I think her tail's about to touch the ground, huh? It's getting there. Yeah, I mean. Here. Grab this outside right here. I can't decide if it's your curly cream that smells good or her tail. A little bit of both. A little bit of both.
I just have blood in my hair today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took a shower this morning.
Whew, you showered today. Good for you.
It's the end of the day.
Get this little stain. She went outside and got a little mud on her leg. And then we'll just put her blankie back on her. But this is a filly that when she came in here, she was just a little afraid of humans. I mean, she's good under saddle because we didn't really let there be any trauma there, but it doesn't matter. She was, there you go, just let go. There you go. That tail is almost to the ground in the long spots. Yep. Look at that. Almost there. Yep, I'm gonna put her blankie back on her. But again, even though we're not letting her, you know, we're not the kind of people that pussyfoot around them. Like, we have her tied up. There's a halter on the ground. There's stuff like, people will say like, oh, I've seen you do shit in your barn I wouldn't do. Yeah, but we're trying to create horses that are not spooky. We're trying to create horses that understand humans are spooky. Humans are going to do things you don't expect. Okay? So we don't want, I mean, I'm a firm believer in spooky humans make quiet horses. With that being said, it is also still my responsibility, if we're going to be spooky, to provide a safe environment around them, that if we do get a little too spooky, we can get the horse out of a bind. So under no circumstances should these horses be tied up on concrete. You crisscross those, Elizabeth. The front goes to back and back to front. There you go. So to me, that is important. It's important for them to know that. She just took a big breath. She's like, okay, I've got my shield back on. She's safe.
Blanket.
Yeah, she feels safe. That big breath was like, okay, I'm back protected and padded. That's so funny. But and I just hope that makes sense. I mean, while I'm liable to still do this, I'm liable to still, I mean.
She's like, Cookie, what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, while I still am liable to be a very spooky human, I'm not going to tie her up to the front of a stall on concrete and allow her to slip and fall. I mean, it's okay to be a spooky human, but you have to provide an environment that if you happen to scare them, you can get them out of a bind. I mean, that's just part of it. All right, you guys, we're going to grab some lunch. Charlie, he always acts like he's in trouble, even when he's not. Look at him. He thinks he... We need to get one of those bolts that you showed me so we can fix this one too. Don't let me forget. I'll help you when I come back. That's our favorite feed. People ask, how did Jackie Roan get to looking so good? Jess. Yeah. All right, you guys, we're headed to lunch and we'll be back after lunch.